Airsofters, what's going on? This is Gabriel from Master Key Airsoft, Team SRT. So I wanted to talk to everybody about all the different fields that we have in Ohio. There's actually quite a lot of them. I kind of been wanting to do this video for a while. I've been wanting to make it and give every single field a rating. No one is paying me to give their field a better rating. No one's also paying me to make another field sound bad. These are all my personal opinions, and I'm just going to go over the fields I have played at. There's, I think, 4 or 5 fields that I have never been to, and we're going to get started. They're just in a random order. So here we go. So number 1, we have Warden. That's in Little Buck Creek, Ohio, I believe. Got 7 out of 10 on that. We'll start with the pros. Great structures. They got a lot of really cool stuff there. They do the upkeep very well every year. I think they're usually fixing stuff that broke. Very helpful staff. If there's ever a problem on the field, there's always a ref nearby that's able to fix that. Attainable objectives for mil sims. They have some really cool props that they use. Some fields don't have that, so I want to give them kudos for doing that and doing it well. And they almost always start on time, which is huge in the airsoft world, as all you airsofters know. A lot of places say they're going to start at 9 and they start at 11. You go to a big event, you pay money, expect to start at 8, and you end up starting at 9:30. I know that's how it goes. It's usually not the event organizers, it's usually the players. But they do a very good job of starting on time. Go with cons. Number 1, the hill. If you ever played there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They have this massive hill, and it's just brutal, especially in the summertime. Just trying to climb up that thing. Let's say you got to start up there as a starting point, or if that's your respawn, that really sucks when you got to go respawn up this hill. I know you see me complaining. I work out and I still complain, so I can't even imagine. And then the other only thing was short notice for games. They don't really post huge advance notice on their games, which I think might hurt their attendance a little bit. If they had more advance notice for games, I think that would help them. And then lastly, I would like to see them have more milsims. They have a lot of open plays. They have a lot of micro milsims. I'm a big fan of the bigger games. Those are the ones I really will take off a day for work, spend the extra money, get a bunch of the team out there. That's the stuff I like to see. Alright, number 2, BTT, Backyard Tactical Training. That is actually my home field. My brother owns it. That's my patch right there, representing. Obviously, you might think I'm a little biased because it's my home field. But I did only give it 8 out of 10. There are other fields I ranked higher, so I'm not super biased. That is in Medina, Ohio. We're going to start with the pros. We got fast-paced games. You get a lot of trigger time. Because it's a smaller field, you're constantly shooting at someone. If you ever go to a game and you're like, oh man, I really didn't get to shoot a lot of people, I didn't get a lot of trigger time, that doesn't happen. We also use full auto. Some people don't like that, some people do. Like I said, these are all things that I like. That's why I'm doing this video. You might say, I hate full auto, shouldn't exist. I don't know. Maybe that's what you like. But I like that as an option. We only do open plays because we're a very small field. Another pro, the whole field is shaded. There's 100% trees, so even if it's 90 degrees outside, it's going to be only 80 on our field. It's going to be about 10 degrees cooler in the woods from whatever it is in the beating down sun. Another pro, we are a $5 donation-only field. That's actually one of the reasons that Airsoft Ohio won't let us post, which I'm not talking bad about them. I understand the reasons. We don't carry real airsoft insurance. What I mean by that is we cover everyone under a homeowner's insurance. So basically, if you get hurt, which, never had anyone get hurt, but if you were to get hurt, it would be covered under the homeowner's insurance. Basically, we're just a group of guys coming over having fun. That's why we are a donation field only. We ask everyone that comes to pay $5. I mean, guys, $5 play airsoft is nothing. Cons, it is small. It's kind of a longer and more narrow field, and so all the fighting has to be head-on. We do have some cool structures there, but it's definitely one of the smaller fields around. But I'm a big fan, obviously. And then irregular schedule. That's definitely our biggest downfall. We do not have a game every 2 weeks. Kind of goes off my brother's schedule. So whenever he's available, we kind of host a game. Sometimes he does out of town. I host the games. But it's definitely a field if you've never been to. You should at least go one time, check it out for yourself, see if you like it or not. Number 3, Sector 7. I got it a 9 out of 10. Definitely a fantastic field. Start with the pros. Great games. They do some really cool games there that I like for their open plays. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I like it there. That one's also good for trigger time. You get a lot of trigger time. Very little downtime, which is good. The refs listen to the players, which is huge. So if you were to say, hey, I would like to see us play this game next, they're 99% of the time they're going to say, all right, no problem, which is huge. Refs that actually listen to what the players want to do. That's big for the community and whatnot. Cons, I only have one for them, and that's just they need some more structures, which I understand they're in the beginning stages because they haven't been around super long, and it's a very, very large field, so they have a ton of area to cover. And that's pretty much it. Overall, really, really great field. Definitely one of my top favorites. Number 4, I got Odins Paradise. I gave them a 9 out of 10. They have an in-store shop. We'll start with the pros. In-store shop. So if you need a rental, they have that. If you need BBs, they have that. If you need gas for your, gas pistol, they got that. Actually, one of their staff members actually fixed this pistol. It was broke. I still owe him $10. I didn't forget about you, Shane. I'll get that to you. Just really, really good group of people that work there. Overall, very, very, very nice people. Good game modes. They're probably one of the only places I know that run a VIP game, which you think would be kind of a common game, but it's not really. I haven't really seen it at a lot of places. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You have a person that is not actually shooting. That person is a designated, VIP that you have to get from one location to another. And then, obviously they have different stuff that happens in between. You have to go get a file out of a room, blah, blah, blah. That's really cool, though. They run some really cool games there. Bathrooms. I wasn't planning on putting this on the list, and then, as I was going down, I added it to the list. Unbelievable. First of all, they have 2 bathrooms, and they're both clean. Probably the cleanest out of any field in all of Ohio, which to some people, that's really nice. Having a nice, clean bathroom, that's a big deal. So, good job for them to that. Cons, once again, I gave them a 9 out of 10. I almost couldn't find anything wrong. So the only con I had was the random team picking. And I'm just not a fan of that, where you just pick 2 random people and let them pick teams. That's kind of like a little league baseball thing, in my opinion. So you usually go with a group of people, and I would like to keep those groups of people together. You spend a lot of money on gear, right? You spend a lot of money on guns. You get your friends involved, and usually those are the people that you want to play with. You don't want to play against. Some of you crazies out there, I don't know, you want to shoot your friends. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of that, though. I understand team balancing. You got to have balanced teams. I know how that goes. But that's where you just move groups of people. And I would rather them be in charge of the teams. Move one group to another, and don't move individual people, and don't break up people that came together. It's just too time consuming when you try to have 2 random people just pick other random people that they never met, and you're walking around and you're wasting time, and just, have the refs do it. It's going to be quick. One more pro, actually, I forgot to put on there was refs. They have, I want to say, the most amount of refs for the smallest amount of area. There's always a ref within 100 feet. So it's there's not a lot of cheating there, which is awesome, obviously there's cheating happens everywhere. You know, I know that. But it's definitely, you know, refs are very close. They're there to do their job, and they do it well. So go with that. All right. Next. All right, number 5. We got Assault Outdoor, which, as far as I know, they're closed. That was the last thing I saw. I really only played there twice. They didn't have a lot of stuff built. They were still in the early stages. I don't think it ever took off the way they wanted it to. I'm not going to give that a rating since they're not open. We're just going to go to the next one. Number 6 is going to be Assault Indoor. I did give that a 4 out of 10. I know that's not the greatest score. But like I said, these are just from my personal opinions, and these are from me playing there and the experiences that I've had. Not maybe other people might be like, oh, that's an amazing field, I love it. I mean, that's cool. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. Okay. We're just gonna start with the pros. They have one game that I really like, and it's with the buckets. I think it's just called the bucket game. But basically, there's 4 buckets in the center of the field, and you have to take them back to your side. Now, it's the enemy's goal is they can go over and take your buckets. There's like another area in front of your spawn, which is where the buckets line up. That's where you put them when you get them. So I've had a lot of fun with that game. Other than that, I don't have a lot of pros for them. Like I said, this is my experiences. So we're going to go over to cons. First one is really, really young refs. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. They just usually don't have the experience, and they don't know how to handle things when a problem may come up. So, you know, it's kind of where, and I get it too, not a lot of people want to spend their Saturday afternoon reffing. You know, a lot of people want to play, that's why they're in the sport, and I understand that. Very, very small field, which honestly, the best time I ever had was when they were in that pool, which I think it was a, what was it called? Like a rec center. I think it was a rec center, and the actual airsoft field was in a pool, like an underground pool that had no water in it. And it was awesome. Like, it was very small, but they did a really nice job with the actual field setup. And it was still much larger than the field they currently have running. And I know that they cut it like in half because they were trying to do a laser tag thing. I understand that, but it's like you really got to pick one. Either cater to all the laser tag people, or cater to the airsofters. When you cut it in the middle like that, you get 2 different groups of people that don't get the best experience possible. So in my mind, not the greatest business move, but you know, you do what you got to do. Bathrooms, nothing to write home about. I didn't think I was going to bring that up either, but I mean, they are some super old, outdated, like I went in there, wasn't even sure if the toilet worked kind of bathrooms. So, and then I don't know if any of these people are still there, but this was like 2 years ago. I don't really go there anymore. One of the refs was actually shooting people in the game, and to me that's just like a huge no-go. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're doing it. You're a ref. You shouldn't even have a gun on you. There's just no reason. That's not your goal. Your goal is to make sure that people follow the rules. You're not there to shoot people as part of a player in the game. So I was super turned off when I saw that. Also, I've seen people get shot in the staging area, so kind of a safety concern there. I just don't take it as serious as I would like people to take it. Alright, number 7, we have Splatter Park. I only gave that one a 5 out of 10. Not a big fan. We're going to start with the pros. I only have 1. The only thing that I thought was kind of cool when I first went there is they have multiple fields. So they have more than one different field that you can play on throughout the day. We're just going to go straight over to the cons. That was the only pro I had. It's very paintball oriented. You can kind of feel that it wasn't really designed for airsofters. Just how it's built, how the games are run. I mean, they even call your airsoft gun a marker, which is like, I mean, I'm not calling you ignorant, but like, it's an airsoft gun. Okay? Paintball, that's a marker. Airsoft, that's an airsoft gun. So I don't know. The games, they're not designed for airsoft. They're just, it feels like they took on airsofters because they wanted to make more money. I want to call it like a super corporate place. Like it's just, they're just in and out, in and out. They want people in the field, off the field, in the field, off the field. And the games are so short, you barely get any trigger time. There's not real objectives. Like I said, this is just my experience. I did not like it. All right, go to number 8. Number 8, we got Fallen Warrior. Fallen Warrior, big fan. Got 9 out of 10. Start with the pros. They have awesome structures, like probably some of the coolest structures in all the fields. They have a 3-story, which I really like because it's one of the, I think it is the only outdoor field in Ohio that has a 3-story with a staircase. Because that's just a cool experience. Like you feel like a SWAT team. I mean, you're going up a staircase like this. You get to shoot above you. You can throw a grenade up there. Do whatever you want. It's cool. I like it a lot. Big fan of that. I want to say it's the only place that I know of locally that runs a 24-hour game. I think they do it twice a year, and I love it. They've had, which I want to jump over to the cons real quick, and then I'm gonna jump back. They have small turnouts for their mil sims, and I don't know why. They're not expensive. They're crazy well ran. Like the objectives are clear, concise. It's like always a good group of people, but there's just not a huge turnout. So I don't know if that's just a lot of people don't know about it. I'm not really sure. Overall field layout is good for mil sims, and what I mean by that is there's kind of a good flow on the field. Like you're able to flank people. There's a lot of bushes that you can sneak around in, but there's also clearings that if you want to travel through. It's just really nice setup. Field upkeep is good, I would say. I know he just added some new stuff this year, so that's always, and, it's hard, especially when you're doing stuff by yourself. For this large community that may or may not support you. And that's difficult in and of itself. Really, the only con was small turnouts, and that's not even on him because I know he promotes, so that's on the community. Other than that, fantastic field. Next, number 9, I got Battlefront. Hubbard, Ohio Battlefront. That is going to be 6 out of 10. Start with the pros. Great structures. Honestly, they probably don't. There's no other fields like that in Ohio. It was a factory of sorts. I think they made gunpowder or something, and it was like destroyed in World War II. Don't quote me. I don't know all the facts, but that's relatively the gist of the story. But they're just these huge concrete structures. They're really cool. That's kind of it for pros. Cons, I think they're kind of more catered to paintball, which I understand. Paintball pays the bills. It's an expensive sport. So when people hold that there, they make money, and I get that. You can't wrong people for wanting to make money. That's what they're there to do, make money. I want to say there's not really a steady company that I like that runs games there. The only company that regularly runs games there is PA TAC. I'm not going to talk bad about them at all. I'm just not a huge fan of how they run their games. I'm not going to go more into depth than that. And the only individual rule, and to me this was like a whole 2 points by itself as far as a rating, is they don't count Thunderbees. So this guy right here, if I throw this into a room, you're not dead. I don't understand. There's 18, 19 fields in Ohio, and like 16 out of 18 all count this as a 10-foot kill radius or a whole room. Doesn't have to have BBs in it, because if you put BBs in it, guess what? This shell is not designed to hit you with BBs. It's designed to go off, and it's loud, and it costs money, so you should count it as a kill. That's it for that. I was just very, very upset when I saw that you spend money on grenades, and then you realize that somebody says, hey, that doesn't count. Next page. You go away. Okay. Alright, number 10. Mercer. You're going to say, Wait a minute, Gabe. I thought you said you were only doing fields in Ohio. Yes, I know Mercer is in Pennsylvania. I'm not a retard, okay? The reason I put it on my list is because I played there, and it's an hour-and-a-half drive. That is like half the drive of some of the other fields that are in Ohio, and I've never even played at because they're so far. So I'm going to include it because it's a relatively easy drive for anybody that wants to make it. So Mercer, that's in Pennsylvania. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Pros, they have a super consistent schedule. I think it's like exactly every 2 weeks they have an open play or a mil sim. The schedule's done way far in advance. Nice job to them for getting that. There are some really good mil sims. I don't really go to their open plays. I'm not a huge open play guy myself. But there's a few, really, there's one person that hosts games there that does an amazing job. Just overall does a really, really good job hosting games there. And that would be John Burt. He's a fantastic event organizer. So whenever I see that he's hosting an event, I always try to make it out there because it's worth the drive. He's organized. Cons, the field structures are not upkept. Now, I don't know if it's, it's just because they've been around for a long time. Maybe some of the structures are crazy old. Maybe they don't have the funding. Maybe it doesn't have the time to fix them. And you're like, well, Gabe, how can you say that? You don't know that. Well, the reason I know that they're not upkept, I actually fell through. And I have it on video. I'll have to find it somewhere. Maybe I can put it in this video. I actually fell through the roof of a building. Like, I went up, the whole roof came out, and I fell through. I was like holding on to the edge, and I had to like climb back up. It was crazy. But anyway, after that I was like, some of these buildings are not the sturdiest. And it's mostly an open field. And what I mean by that, they have structures, yes, but it's just, in the summer, I mean, the sun's just beating down on you. Usually trees is what provides cover. We already wear a ton of gear. We got a vest. If it's a mil sim, we're going to carry everything we possibly can because the goal is not to leave the field for any reason. So not a lot of wood cover there, which is kind of why I dropped it down to a 6 score with the other things, obviously. Alright, and we're going to go next, number 11, Springfield. I think it's also called Hidden Ranch. I remember it as Springfield because it's been around so long. I'm not sure if they changed the name, but usually if you say Springfield, everybody knows what you're talking about. I gave that a 7 out of 10. Start with the pros. Games are scheduled in advance. That's always a good thing. I want to say largest field in Ohio. I think it's 200 acres, so nobody else has that beat. Good job there. They have some cool structures, definitely original, some stuff that you're not going to see at other places. They have an airfield. I mean, nobody else has something like that. Just a lot of structures, so that's good. They have really well-written rules, so it's never like, oh, this is confusing, or I shot him and I wasn't allowed to shoot him, or I didn't know if there was an MED. The rules are very clear and precise in writing, so there's no guessing if you're allowed to do something if you're not, which is a huge problem in Airsoft when people don't write the rules clearly. If they leave stuff open for interpretation, 90% of the time, people are going to interpret it the wrong way. So, make your rules, just make them educated as far as what people need to know. That's all I'm going to say. Cons, very rocky terrain. I actually hurt my ankle a few years back just trying to walk down a hill. I wasn't running, I wasn't doing anything crazy. Not his fault. He's a huge field, so obviously some of it's going to be different than other parts. But that's just my opinion. You just got to be careful, And then another thing is they don't count those. It's in the rules. They do not count Thunder Bees as kills. It's a distraction device only. To me, that's a huge hindrance. I mean, I carry 3 of these on me at all times. I love them. I use them. And if they're only a distraction device, I mean, put it in my car. I have no use for it. It doesn't do anything. Oh, you're distracted. Oh, I'm dead. I didn't get you because you were only distracted. Alright, anyway. Next, and last on my list, we have number 12, which is Ohio Valley Indoor. I gave that a 5 out of 10. And that's the Cincinnati one. I think that there's 2 with a relatively close to the name. Start with the pros. They allow 400 FPS. which you're like, oh, that would suck to get shot with 400 in an indoor place. I mean, honestly, I wasn't bleeding anywhere. Played a whole day there, so I don't really think that's a huge issue. I think that's like an insurance thing for most places. They're just not allowed to have it, so I get that. You know, whatever, 370, that's cool. They have cool flags there, and what I mean by that, they have this red and green bandana that are tied together, and there's like literally a hook on the outside of the building, and you just, or not building, but they have like a CQB smaller structure in the center, and you just hook the flag, and then you take it off and switch the color, and that's how you do flags. That was probably the one game that we played there that I actually did enjoy, so that's a con, or I'm sorry, that's a pro. Got me there. Cons, crazy small, like one of the smallest fields I've ever played on. I was literally standing at one side, and I could shoot, and I could hit the back wall. I don't have a DMR, I don't have anything crazy. I'm not running 4.0 BBs. I just standing on one side, I shot a BB, and I can hit the other side. So that's pretty small. So they run games that include attacking a spawn point. Guys, I've been playing Airsoft for 15 years. Let me tell you, that never works out good. Never. People just get pissed because they just keep killing people, and they just keep respawning. You have to make it so the objective is away from the spawn point, or you just turn it into a metagame. Like, why is everybody so scared to do metagames? They're like, oh, well, people might not have as much fun because, okay, well, it's going to teach them that they got to stick together. Like, this whole mentality of die, respawn, die, respawn, die, respawn, like, Airsoft needs to change away from that, in my opinion. Just my opinion. But anything that involves attacking a respawn point, like your objective is near that, guys, that's just bad Airsoft. We shouldn't be doing that. People should know better. I mean, crazy hard to find. I mean, we got there, we were looking for like 15 minutes before we found the front door. They don't have any signs. They're in like an industrial area that's like surrounded by a lot of other industrial areas, and their door, like the driveway is not where the other drives. It was hard to find. So if you want to go play there, it's not going to be easy to find. That's just me. And there's another big thing, and I think I've only ever seen this at like one other field, and it was a long time ago. I don't even remember. I think it was called Steel City. I don't even know if they're still in existence. I don't think that's in Ohio. I'm pretty sure they're closed down. But anyway, they switched people during the games. Guys, I mean, if you start with 5-on-5 and you realize one team's getting destroyed, it happens. It's Airsoft. Not everybody is a winner. I've lost plenty of times. It sucks, but it's the game. Like, you don't have to help people's feelings for that 15 minutes of a game. Just let the game finish. They'll actually take players in the middle of a game and say, hey, just take your armband off, switch to the other team. What? No, don't do that. Because now, I was shooting at that guy, and now I'm not shooting at him anymore. Once again, I'm going to call what it is. Just bad Airsoft. Don't do stuff like that, guys. And that's it. That's all I have. There's definitely more fields in Ohio than that. That was number 12. I have 13 as Three Rivers Paintball, I think it's called. There's another Ohio Valley Airsoft. I've never been there. Devil's Playground, never been there. I-70, never played there. And then number 17 I have as the other Battlegrounds. I know it's a field that's relative. I think that's what it's called, Battlegrounds. It's far from me. I never played there. So, but yeah, and there, like I said, I might not even have. There's probably even more fields than this. This is just the ones I know of and that I've played at. I'm obviously not going to rate the ones I haven't played at. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching my video.